we've got some windy weather coming up over the next few days and some rain, and then next week we're tracking a potential, in fact a likely, tropical cyclone. Hello, I'm Philip Duncan. Thank you for joining us. Windy weather is the main feature around the North Island today, although it's calmer in the South Island with a fair bit of cloud around and still fairly warm. Most of New Zealand warmer than average, and it's thanks to this big high which is encouraging this subtropical flow. Windy in Auckland, some gusts getting up to gale force, and it's going to be off and on in Auckland. You know, we got it today, got a bit more again on Thursday and a bit more again on Saturday as these windy conditions continue on, and we've got a windy southwest change also coming in later this week. And we're tracking this cyclone area up here. This is the low that's likely to form into a tropical cyclone. We'll talk about that in a moment, but let's get into the short-term forecast. Here's the rain map for the next 3 days ahead. As you can see, the areas with bright blue, these are the areas with the biggest downpours of rain. The accumulation's getting up to around 90 to 100 millimetres. So Mount Taranaki, also actually the Taranaki region itself, pushing inland to National Park, and down here around Fiordland National Park. Those are the main areas with the highest rainfall totals, potentially 100 millimetres in the next 3 days. On the outer edges of that, though, the rainfall numbers drop quite a bit, just 20 millimetres or so around the Hanua Ranges in Auckland. And in the east here, that bright green you see, just 2 to 5 millimetres, only a few spits and showers coming into Hawke's Bay and Gisborne. Now down in the South Island, there are two different greens. You've got that same bright green, got the blue as well, so that's really at this bottom part of the scale, just a couple of spits, couple of showers. And the green you see here, around Banks Peninsula and Christchurch itself and down towards Timaru, that's just the satellite map. That's not even on the key. That's actually clear. I've actually spoken to IBM about maybe changing the colour of it to black so that it's not so confusing. But what you're looking at there is no rain for the next 3 days. Okay, that's not a big headline, but really actually over the next several days, there is pretty much no rain coming into Canterbury. So that's the reason why that's a little bit interesting. There have been a few downpours though over the last day or two. All right, let's take a look now at the air pressure map, satellite map, the air pressure map. Now what this is showing is a trough or a small area of low pressure forming just off the west coast of Northland. Now with this high out to the east, this is subtropical warm weather. That means again tonight, going into tomorrow morning, overnight lows in Auckland and Hawke's Bay will be around 20 degrees. Another warm night. As we go through Wednesday itself, patchy rain and showers around the North Island, mostly dry in the east, mostly dry around Wellington, and also fairly dry up around Auckland and Northland. There will be a few showers and a few spits, but the totals are not that great. Mostly dry in the South Island, a little bit of rain around Fiordland, and maybe a few drizzle patches going up into the more populated areas. By Thursday, that low has tracked across the North Island. So a burst of rain on Thursday around Wellington, Wairarapa, and some southern areas, also through Cook Strait, brushing coastal Nelson and coastal parts of Marlborough. And further to the north, yes, a bit of a wet morning, but into the afternoon, the sun should come out and the humidity finally eases. We've got a southwest change moving through, so the temperatures drop a little bit, not a huge amount, but the humidity really does start to disappear. You'll notice that on Thursday. Now to Friday, and we've got a cooler change coming in for Friday, and Saturday starts here on Friday. There's the cold surge, the cold front moving up the South Island, falling apart as it does so, but the temperatures drop on Friday, and then they drop again later on Friday in the south as the secondary cold front comes on in. Now by Saturday, you can see high pressure out around Tasmania. We've got a storm down here. That's the reason why we're getting those windy southwest conditions right across the whole country, not just Southland, but all of New Zealand pretty much getting them. Although the eastern side of New Zealand will be pretty mild and sunny, because you're sheltered by the ranges, so it won't be quite so bad for you on Saturday. Now let's get into the tropics. Sunday. This is when we think this low will be named by the Fiji Met Office, and it will be our first tropical cyclone of the season to basically come down and towards the New Zealand area. At some point it's going to come down, but this high is the main feature for that storm, the main guiding force for it. So if you think of that as an egg, and you think of that as a roof going like that, the egg won't really balance on the top. It's got to go one way or the other. So we're still trying to work that out. The computer modeling is still trying to work that out. Yesterday it was suggesting it would tip down on the left-hand side or the western side of that high. Today the modeling is suggesting maybe the high will be a little slower and this low might end up coming down like that. But either way, New Zealand is in the risk zone for it. Not guaranteed to hit us, not at all. But this far out, to be seeing a storm like that in this area, it does mean it's one for us to keep a close eye on. And obviously with COVID-19, we're not travelling to the islands, but we've got to think of our friends and family up here in places like Vanuatu, New Caledonia and Fiji. None of those places have a direct hit yet of this storm. It's only potential, so don't worry too much, but at least now's a good chance to start monitoring it, watching it, and with COVID-19 makes it even more of a problem for these island nations to deal with. So we'll keep a very close eye on this likely forming storm, and we'll be having daily updates in our videos as we continue to track it, and our next news update will be issued on Wednesday at weatherwatch.co.nz. That's all from me. We'll see you again on Wednesday.